Alright, so we're gonna have to do things a bit differently because fortunately YouTube has been copywriting my videos, specifically the pretension one. So I thought I'd give my a bit more of a shorter description of pretension and why it's good. For one thing, let's go with the first thing. First thing is we love Kagami calling out Marinette, even despite them being friends, because let's be honest, you'd call your friends out too if they did something stupid, but you'd say it affectionately. But the thing with Marinette is, she didn't do things in an affectionate way or like, oh, you're silly, we were all so immature back then. No, it was more like, you technically did something horrible and yet I'm still friends with you. So, yeah, definitely different from probably your normal friends. But Marinette's not normal, and yeah. Just love how Kagami is basically like, when Marinette explains, oh, he thinks that, your dad thinks I'm like one of those people who like knows your next schedule for the few years and makes you birthday presents constantly, and Kagami's just freaking comeback is so good. She just says, isn't that what you used to do, Marinette? Like, I'm sorry, Kagami, who made you the sass queen? Look at my sister being sassy, Girl 600, it was Kagami all along. Inside joke that Sassy Girl 600 was actually my little sister's Club Penguin username. What is with, great names from just using two simple words, putting them together with a number, and somehow it's the most amazing, most incredible name ever. That was Club Penguin in a nutshell, but we'll save that game for another time, because, oh good lord, that game was freaking amazing. But like I said, another time. Another great thing about pretension, holy crap. Okay, you probably know I despise Marinette. I've made that clear on my community posts. I made it clear in my very earlier videos when I was still really furious at Marinette. That hasn't changed. I've just, found a positive reinforcement. Believe it or not, sometimes children's shows from years ago still hold up and actually can improve your attitude or lighten you up instead of darken you down, as in positivity over negativity. But what I really love about Marinette in this episode, and only this, is she basically told Gabriel, you don't know how to cook pancakes, stop trying. Basically, in her own way. Like, look, I despise Canon Marinette for so many reasons, but if there's something I'll give her without any sarcasm, spite, or attitude in my voice, it's telling Gabriel off about his pancakes. Because I'm pretty damn sure, as much as I despise her, she's a baker. She's gonna know how to cook freaking food correctly. Basically, even Marinette told him you don't put flour in pancakes, and if anyone does, I'm sure they would taste fine, I'm not a fan, honestly. Buttermilk pancakes are the best. And Marinette even said you're supposed to put more butter than flour. Now, there are a version of pancakes that are technically fake, called Culini or something like that, which we have usually 1 week before Great Lent in our, in the case of my church family. Now, I'm not saying you can't make things different and they won't taste good, but just, here's my advice. Don't be Gabriel aggressed when cooking pancakes. It's gonna be terrible. Even Plague basically said those pancakes are terrible, and Plague, who's someone who's a cheese enthusiastic to the core, if he says the pancakes are bad, you know he's right. Because Plague knows what good food tastes like. Because yes, he may be obsessed with Camembert. Not like SpongeBob from that one episode, which, yeah, that's why I used to be a bit uncomfortable with Plague's case of cheese obsession, because it reminded me of that one SpongeBob episode. If you know which episode I'm talking about, good. I don't want to bring it up because it still brings back really bad memories. Just, oh, good lord. But if Plag is willing to basically say your pancakes suck, Gabriel, without, obviously you can't show his face to him directly, because secret identities and all that. Oh, God. But yeah, Plag basically telling Adrian, your father could, cook something different for once. I'll be fair. Pancakes are delicious, but having them, every day of every minute, I feel like I'd be like, can we do something else for breakfast? Like egg pie or scrambled eggs and toast, or, I don't know, waffles, French toast, an omelet, I guess. I mean, I'm not a fan of omelets, but I know some people are. And then there's hash browns. You get the idea. Okay, moving on to my favorite parts of these episodes. Obviously, the Figami. Now, if anyone remembers me in the early days, including my shorts, I was beyond furious and upset when Adrienette broke up. Am I the same way about that now? Not really, honestly. I mean, sure, it hurt in the beginning, but that was because everyone was being a massive, insensitive dick. Yes, there's going to be harsh language in this, and I'm not holding back when I say this. Some of you people were very nasty and fucking insensitive pricks when, just not acknowledging that some of us really liked Adrienette. And not only did you not acknowledge our feelings, you basically just said Adrian did the right thing. No. As much as I like Adrian, as much as I like Kagami, they both fucked up in different ways. Adrian for not understanding he should have been a little more clearer with Kagami, and Kagami for being too forceful. But they're not as much as fault as the show writers. Yes, if you think I'm gonna cut any slack to the show writers just because they made a ship that worked for Kagami, think again. The season 5 final exists, and I'm not letting that go anytime soon. How some people just say the season 5 final's great. Here's my blunt opinion. If you like it, more power to ya. I'm never gonna like that piece of trash as long as I live. And trust me, considering my tolerance for a lot of crap over the years, that's a long time. But moving on from that, after, I recovered from the Adrienette pain, which, by the way, I'm just saying this now, Miraculous official channel, making Adrienne's breakup one of the moments, as well as Mr. Pigeon 72, where Marinette was harassing Kagami. Yeah. Fuck you to the deepest pits of Tartarus. I'm saying Tartarus because I'm afraid if I say the other thing, my video could get copyrighted or demonetized. So we're just gonna say Tartarus. Pony word to be friendly, somewhat, despite the cursing. Whatever. I'm weird. We already knew that. Moving on. After I got over the pain of Adrienette over time, I realized, hey, maybe there's someone who would fit Adrian better in personality, and that was Zoe Lee. Despite people saying, oh, Adrian and Zoe are siblings, you can't ship them. Okay, first off, I actually know the difference between actual siblings, psychologically, biologically, and by blood. For example, if you remember, we're going to go off a slight tangent here, just briefly. If you remember a certain My Little Pony Friendship is Magic episode, specifically Pinky Apple Pie, Season 4, Episode 9, Pinky technically might be related to Applejack, which definitely made some Pinky Jack shippers a bit concerned. Now, can some people technically ignore that episode and say they're related but not family-wise, where it would be incest? I'm sorry, have to use the word, because otherwise people are going to not know what the hell I'm talking about or complaining about. Technically, it depends on the circumstance. If you take it from a different perspective that is not by blood or cousins, yes, you could still ship Pinky and Applejack. But if you are someone who just finds it too risky now that they're considered family and you don't know how close, then no, you probably shouldn't. It depends on how you see it. With Adrian and Zoe, I don't see them as siblings. I'd see them as, well, obviously best friends at first, because they have a lot of things in common. They both struggle with social cues. They both struggle with fitting in. They both are rebellious underneath all that sweetness, which, let's be honest, aren't we all? To a degree, at least. They both have had plague. As a Kagami, they both use the Black Cat Miraculous. And we'll talk about Zoe another time. I don't hate her, but God, her character still is not good. But nowhere as bad as Marinette. I'll give her that. I'll give Zoe that. She is nowhere as bad as Marinette in character derailment. Good Lord. No, that'd be being too generous. Zoe may not be developed the best, but she is nowhere the worst character. Let me tell you, that honor would go to Marinette, basically. Canon Marinette, not Shadybug. Shadybug is awesome. We will talk about her another time. But back to the case. Adrian and Zoe are not siblings. People who assume that are just mad that people ship Adrian with Zoe. I'm one of them who likes Adrian x Zoe. You got a problem with that? Keep in mind it's not actual incest. You want to know what the problem is with some people? I've seen them ship actual incest. In many fandoms, I don't want to name because those were dark times, so I'll bring up the most controversial ones, but are still regarded as siblings in the regard of family. We will start with the one that people seem to have forgotten for years on end, and I still see shipping art of these two, and it pisses me off. Shadow the Hedgehog x Maria Robotnik. I do not care what kind of twist or turn you use. They are siblings, not by blood, but by adoption. Shadow was there for Maria like a sibling. They are siblings. Do not ship them. It's gross. And then another one. Oh, it's so amazing how I used to love this AU, and now it just pisses me the hell off knowing what the creator ships. If you remember Undertale, this game, amazing game. First example of genderless humans, possibly. Complex. I would still call Kara she/they, but whatever. I'm not going to get into that. People are hypersensitive about that shit, like no end to no end. Jeez Louise. But Kara, who was Asriel's best friend, aka Flowey, spoilers, basically cared about Kara a lot. He cared how much they meant to him, and, they were best friends. But they were also like family, aka siblings. Unfortunately, Miss Trash Queen herself, fitting name, let me tell you, she thought it was okay to ship Kara and Asriel since they were technically adopted siblings. No. Adopted siblings or not, any form of sibling is no. You do not ship this. Ever. No. Just don't. How difficult is it for you to understand that adopted sibling is sibling? You should not ship them. End of story. I am so sick of people shipping Kara and Asriel and frickin' Maria Robotnik and Shadow the Hedgehog. It's gross. It's not right. Stop. Just stop it. Okay. Back to the case on Figami. While it was an unexpected ship, I'm very glad it happened, and I'll just say it now. I did watch the leaks. See, I don't watch things that are leaked or content that is not finished unless it's a person I despise, and over the years I've grown a very strong hatred for Thomas Astruck that could rival the very core of anger from Inside Out, combined with Bloom, Fairy of the Dragonflame, whose rage is very strong when angry with the Dragonflame combined. So yeah, I despise Thomas Astruck. So why the hell would I respect him and avoid the leaks? If I respected you, I would listen. But considering how much you've treated Adrien like shit, made him suffer unfairly through season 4 by losing Kagami, Nino, and Chloe, basically had Marinette abuse him in both forms as well as yell at him throughout almost every season except 1 and 2, why in the dirt bag of a millennia would I listen to a trash bag like you, Astruck? Do you think I'm an idiot? 'Cause I'm not. I'm someone who can very well show you the meaning of a bad time. Swear to God, Thomas Astruck, get fired. I fucking hate you, you despicable man-child who did horrible things. Ugh. Anyway, in these leaks, specifically content you're not supposed to see, I saw Felix and Kagami talking, and I was like, what in the world? And at the time, I was still a little attached to Adigami, so I didn't warm up to Figami immediately. But did I hate it? Actually, no. See, I did hate Figami at one point, but this is way before season 5. This is when the Adrien Salters, those sick fucks, were, using other characters that Adrien was close to make him miserable, which, by the way, if you're still one of those people to this day, stay the hell away from me. I do not want any part of you in this content or YouTube channel of mine. Stay the F away, or so help me, I will block you and report you. Though I wasn't the most warmed up to Figami, I could see the potential. But a lot of people, I think what helped me like it more is seeing so much hate against it and understanding, no, you know what, maybe I don't like this ship a lot yet, but it doesn't deserve outright hate, because that's what Adigami got after breaking up, so I felt the need to defend this ship, which I did. Slowly, but surely. I also started to defend it because I realized if Figami became canon, Marigami would have a lower chance of shining through. And before anyone asks, no, I'm not homophobic. I ship a lot of gay ships from many series, some that weren't even canon and I still love. One of the best examples being Mana X Regina from Doki Doki Pretty Cure. If you see that show, you will see that, yeah, they could be gay for each other. Lesbians, possibly. Which I'm not complaining. Regina X Mana is adorable. Take my word for it. There's also another great ship I love that is a bisexual ex-lesbian. Luz Noceda X Amity Blight. Or Lumity. Wonderful ship. There's also Hunter X Willow, Huntlow. Hunter being bisexual and Willow being pansexual, or is it just pan? I don't want to get that wrong, so if anyone knows the right difference between pan and pansexual, or if it's the same but there's like a slight difference through, just tell me so I don't end up upsetting people, please. I do not want to upset people. That is the last thing I want to do. And there's one more I'm trying to think of. Darn it. Okay. Well, technically this one isn't implied, but I do ship it, especially after the episode Passion of Miraculous. Emily X Natalie, you heard me. Look, Gabe Nath was so disgusting, so vile. It reminded me too much of Mad Father. Now, before I say it, I hate Gabe Nath to no end. But if you like it, that is completely fine. It's just not for me, and it really grosses me out when seeing it. If you like it, though, more power to you. Really. But I like Eminath, or Emily X Natalie, especially after the episode Passion, because there's some hints that Natalie definitely could have not just liked guys. Maybe girls. No, this is just hinted at. It's not, like, outright stated. But, you know, that's the fun of headcanons. And honestly, I could see Emily being a closeted lesbian and only, marrying Gabriel because she had no choice and didn't know she was a lesbian at the time. But that's a video for another time. But I'm not homophobic. That is the point I was trying to make. But I do not like Marigami. Why? Oh, where do we freaking start? First off, does anyone not remember how rude Marinette was to Kagami in season 2, including her debut episode? Outright Ladybug saying to Kagami, she doesn't deserve you. Like, self-entitlement much, Missy. Jeez. You make Bowser look like a saint, and that's saying something, considering all the times he's kidnapped Peach. Like, good lord. Ay, ay, ay. Then, of course, there's another time where Marinette called Kagami an ice queen. Okay, I'm pretty sure while that's not the rudest thing she's could ever say about Kagami, it's still hurtful to say to someone who's not the best at emoting. For frick's sake, even Adrian gave an expression afterwards and sounded kind of hurt. Shocked, like, what? Like, look, Adrian's kind, but in season 2, especially, sometimes he sounded pretty dumb with people, even Marinette sometimes in Ladybug. How Marinette just tries to cover it up with saying the ice rink. I'm sorry, I don't think Marinette's quirky behavior, especially with how she can be rude to people, should be played off as a joke. There are characters who do well with being quirky and misunderstood well. I definitely have a list of them, but I'm gonna try not to go off another tangent, not because I would hate to, but because people would question why would you talk about this character, and I'd have to explain in a detailed summary that would probably take another hour. So, no, we're not doing that. The point is, Marinette can be really rude to Kagami, and I feel like people just brush it off because a harmful stereotype we had when the fandom first came around for Adrienette. Kagami is a lesbian. It's just co-fet for Adrian. First off, you can't use a harmful stereotype like that, especially without defined proof to make it non-harmful. And secondly, you people just want Adrian to be miserable with Marinette. Okay, not all of you, but some of you only want Adrian to be with Marinette, yet you ship Marinette with anyone else. Do I call you hypocritical or frickin' insensitive asses? 'Cause I really don't know which one would fit better. But I do not ship Marigami, specifically because of how badly Marinette treated Kagami, especially in Anna Maestro. Which, yeah, that episode's shit, but that's besides the point. Kagami and Adrian are just having a nice time there at the movie premiere, and what does Marinette try to do? Humiliate her by having her sit on a piece of cake, which, if you know what that's supposed to look like, good for you. Don't say it out loud, for the love of God, just don't. Thankfully, Kagami didn't get horribly humiliated, but I don't like how Marinette doesn't get any repercussions or even scolded for Adrian by this. Look, it's a kids show, but I know kids shows where characters got scolded and realized their mistake and tried to improve better. And for some shows, this actually carried on into later seasons and was done really well. Miraculous isn't one of them. Especially considering Marinette once again tries the same crap in freaking Backorder, which, oh, good lord, I cannot talk about that episode positively. I wouldn't say I hate it, but it brings so much secondhand embarrassment to me, especially with how a certain personal need is treated like a joke. Save that rant for another time. Not only is Marinette horrible in this episode, and stupid, good lord, how do you mistake in your notes when you have them organized? Like, that's the point of get a freaking binder and put it in your freaking Ladybug yo-yo and organize it by freaking tabs. How about that? Maybe that would help you, huh? Maybe then you wouldn't have freaking lost the miraculous and for giving a terrorist, you stupid... I'm calm. I'm good. But good lord. Good freaking lord. Marinette. What makes you think it would be okay to stop Adrian from going to London with Kagami or sneaking in to something you're not invited? And how Julika says it was fine to kidnap her. I know Julika was tired as hell. But for Marinette to be actually okay with kidnapping... First off, that's Bowser's thing, so pretty sure he'd sue you. I'm sorry, it had to be said. He would sue. That's his thing, and end the story there. And secondly, Adrian would never forgive you, friend or not. He would not want Kagami to be kidnapped. The worst thing is, some people actually approved of this idea back then when they hated Kagami. I don't remember which people exactly, but you know who you are. You will feel your sins crawling on your back. You know what you did. And you will never be forgiven for it. So through all this craziness in the episode, basically, thankfully Kagami and Adrian are left alone, but honestly, I do not blame Kagami for giving that glare to Marinette, yet so many people in the past said she doesn't have to give Marinette a glare like that. And Marinette didn't have to suggest going to London to take Adrian away from Kagami, but you people didn't want to hear that back then because you only cared about Adrienette and didn't care about anyone else, and you know I'm right because I remember I was there. 2019, I'm not fucking stupid. And of course, we have Oni-chan. Now, that episode is, it's a bit of a mess. Kagami's pretty much fine in that episode, but some people would say otherwise. But some people got mad in the case of Cat Noir not returning the pound to Ladybug, and he decided to take Kagami home. I'm sorry, do you guys want Cat Noir to simp for Ladybug constantly or grow as a character? Make up your fucking mind. Jesus! Then, of course, Desperada. Good lord, I don't know if Marinette was just being a frickin' bitch, but how she mispronounces Kagami's name twice. Good lord, Adrian, why are you friends with this crazy girl who you later become more with, which, ugh. I'm thankful Kagami was the bigger person in this episode, but girl, at this point, I just tell Marinette to fuck off. You know, if the show would allow those words, but, you know, it's a kid's show and all. Can't swear. Yeah. Then through all that craziness, we get to Ikari Gozen. A great Kagami episode, but a bad Marinette episode. Where do we begin? So basically, it's Friendship Day. I'm just gonna say it now. Dora the Explorer did this concept way better, and no one actually got hurt. Moving on. Sorry, just had to get that out there because, you know, sometimes you just know what you're doing better when you have it, and when you don't, you don't. This Friendship Day is not like the other. That's all you need to know. Okay. So basically Marinette is participating in Friendship Day, and she basically ends up with Kagami, and she's not very happy at all. Now, some Marigami shippers have used the case Marinette calling Kagami cute as shipping fuel. Okay, first of all, you know you can say someone looks pretty and it can be platonic. I have plenty of examples from shows I've watched, but you people don't want to hear that because you're ship crazy as fuck. You're hyper shippers, I guess. Ugh. Marinette is outright horrible to Kagami, and yet this episode unfortunately started a lot of Marigami shipping. Guys, I'm all for ships if the characters are reasonably able to, 1, not be horrible to each other, 2, not be toxic to each other, and 3, actually acknowledge their flaws and mature. Marinette does none of that. I know some people say at the end she technically got better and finally accepted Kagami as a friend, but are you forgetting at the end where Kagami talks about, I was wrong about you, Marinette. Now I know why Adrien considers you a good friend, and Marinette gets sad at the case of being only Adrien's friend. Yeah, are we forgetting Marinette didn't respect Adrien's friendship at all? Some people seem to forget that, and that annoys me as someone who's a fan of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, a show that focuses heavily on friendship. There is a rule, and this rule needs to be respected, because if it's not, then you're not getting anywhere in life, let me tell you. Friendship. This was also mentioned in an Ask Mario episode by a YouTuber named Slickframe, who I highly recommend. Great guy, great YouTube channel. Ask Mario, great series. But one of the things Mario said in the episode is, if you become great friends, you'll have a greater relationship. This is actually very, very good advice. Because if you don't become friends with someone, how do you know if you'll like them more than a friend? Marinette fails this miserably and seems to think being friends with Adrien is awful. Wow, Marinette, you are shallow as hell, good lord. First up, friendship is a wonderful thing. Making a friend with someone is a wonderful experience and can make you very, not only happy, but genuinely feel like you have someone to connect with. And with how Marinette disrespects friendship, especially Adrien's friendship when she wants him to love her, yeah, you kind of seen the reason I don't ship Adrienette now. Not only was it rushed, Marinette never respected Adrien's friendship, for heavens to frickin' sake. In Psychomedian, one of the actually good season 4 episodes, yeah, I said it, what you gonna do about it? She says becoming friends with Adrien is the worst thing to happen. And I just wanted to freaking grab my hand through the screen, grab her by the shoulder very violently, you know, like that shoulder grab that you turn when you're mad with someone, but you want them to understand how mad, so you know what I mean. And just tell her, bitch, if you don't learn to respect friendship, so God help me, I will get Twilight Sparkle myself with the elements of harmony and turn you to stone or send you to the moon. Respect friendship or frickin' suffer. 'Cause God, Marinette just did not respect Adrien's friendship at all, and it pisses me off. If you want me to ship something, you need to be friends first for a while. Lumity did this correctly, and it was even in a shorter time, and it still felt more natural than the crap Adrienette tried. But moving on. In the season 3 final, Marinette was still not really good with Kagami, as she was, just because Kagami was about to kiss Adrien, she took her away out of jealousy, used the raw miraculous, which led to Chloe's downfall. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, Marinette, you are a disgrace to humanity itself, good lord. And in the end, Marinette was sad, because guess what? Adigami was getting closer. But in season 4, she ended up getting her wish, even though she didn't deserve it, having Adigami break up. Ah, Ladybug, you're something special, you parasite, spotted flea, frickin' cockroach. So after all that, basically, then we have Mr. Pigeon 72. Once again, super horrible. She harassed Kagami when Kagami was not in the freaking mood to be bothered. And in the end, somehow Kagami still supports Marinette. And then in season 5, once again, treats Kagami horribly. And yet Kagami still somehow wants to be friends with her. Even after, spoiler alert, she finds out Marinette's identity as Ladybug. Kagami, sweetie, I love you, like how older sister will protect the younger sister. But good lord, you cannot keep being friends with this nutcase. Especially after how many times she's treated you so badly. And yeah, that's why I don't ship Marigami. And never will. Marinette was horrible to Kagami and never really improved. Okay, now. Figami, while unexpected, is wonderful. And Felix did something Marinette didn't. Apologized for stalking. Did Marinette ever apologize for stalking Adrian? No, we just got derision, a poorly attempted retcon of a backstory to try to justify her actions. Or I'm sorry, give her a reason for her actions. Then where's the reason she basically attempted sexual assault on Adrian in Puppeteer 2? Where's the reason she broke into Adrian's house to smell and touch his things without any consent or permission? Where's the reason she sent a love confession to Adrian on the day of his mother's supposed death, which if you ever try something like that, I will actually beat the living crap out of you. Is there only reason for Marinette's simple problems of stalking and stuff, but no reasons for some of the insensitive things in season 3 that I just mentioned? Congratulations, your episode is a failure. You failed. L take, but you know. Not L take, W take, but you know. Episode failed, you know? F rank. But the good thing with Felix and Kagami compared to Adrian and Marinette, not only do Kagami and Felix get to know each other, even if it's within a short time, they actually feel more relatable than Adrienette, which, yeah, I'm gonna anger a lot of toxic Adrienette shippers. I'm not gonna say regular Adrienette shippers. The regular Adrienette shippers are cool with me. They are not toxic. The ones who are toxic are the ones I'm calling out. Basically, though, the good thing about Figami is they basically just make more sense even with their short time. Now, could it have been developed a lot better and in earlier seasons? Yes, but for what it is, it's pretty good and thankfully not downright awful. Like another ship I've talked about before, Zoinette, but that's not for this video. And once again, even if Figami was unexpected, I grew to love it, and I hope in season 6 they get more episodes together, specifically without Marinette, because I'm gonna say this now, especially for Mary stans, the toxic ones. I don't need to see Marinette in every goddamn episode. Other characters exist, and it's fine if she's not in the episode. Alright. That's all I wanted to say, basically. Oh, by the way, Tomei is a terrible mother, and if you defend her, I am concerned if you understand what a bad parent is. Alright, bye.